Hey guys, Kinsey here, and today I am joined by, first time on the channel, my lovely best friend Eva. Ta-da! And we're gonna be talking about Bioshock. Why? Because Bioshock is wonderful, and there's really just like the 3 games, and we might not get any more. So it's a good time to start talking about it. And also because they released recently the Remastered collection, which if you either haven't played Bioshock or would like to revisit it, this is the best possible way. It looks so beautiful. And then also, the reason why I wanted to make sure to have Eva on this video is because she is a Bioshock fanatic. If I had to pick one person in the world to be on this video, of course it would be her. So I'll let her do like a cute little intro about like her collection, her cosplay, all kinds of fun stuff.
All the fun things that go with Bioshock in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I do cosplay, as she mentioned. I first got my start in cosplay because of Bioshock. I wanted to be a little sister for Halloween.
And who doesn't? That's so
cute. Well, in a creepy way.
Yeah.
So made a little sister costume with my mom. We're a team. We're on Tiny Treasures Cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of started dipping into that area and found out about PAX because I was a slow learner in the con section, and slowly went from there. And then when Infinite was released, before it was even released, I created the Elizabeth costume just off of the photos they put out and screenshots, and had to go with what was available. So I had her regular, I guess they would call it the bodice dress, the blue dress.
The one that's in like all the ads and commercials,
Yeah.
the blue one.
Yeah, she doesn't really put it on till like halfway anyways.
Yeah.
And then when the game came out, then we had the library dress, so we made that. And then when the downloaded content came out, then we made the 1960s Rapture dress. So have all of the Bioshock stuff. And then I slowly, like as soon as the game was released and I started finding out I could actually buy collector's items, I grabbed them all. And it really did start with my little Bioshock daddy stuffed animal to go with my costume.
And that thing is so cute.
Really cute. And it's like a real baseball too. So like it's really legit. It looks like it was something that the little sisters created. So my collection just started growing and growing from there, and yeah.
It's like her whole living room now. It's awesome.
Yeah. And not to mention, I have my songbird on my arm, and then I also have Rapture up here. So I'd say I'm pretty dedicated to the cause of Bioshock.
And what a cause it is. So to start with, then we're gonna jump right into the first game, which is, of course, Bioshock. And talk about a game that's aged well. This came out in like what, 2007? Like this game is 10 years old.
Yeah.
And like some games that are 10 years old, they might look a little on the like rough side.
Yeah, they're not as enjoyable because the graphics are hard. And you can tell that it's been outdated for a while. Like, it's not as fancy as the new games that come out.
Yeah. And like, Bioshock, I think, came out at the perfect time. It kind of was a spiritual successor to System Shock, which was another Ken Levine game that was back in the 90s. Second one came out in 1999. Which is actually a link to the 1999 mode in Bioshock Infinite, because that's just really fucking hard, because System Shock 2 was really hard. So this was kind of a way for him to take those ideas that he had with System Shock, but make them more accessible. And putting it on consoles, number one, makes it more accessible. Because it's not as like, not that console gamers aren't hardcore gamers, because that's definitely not true. But
I play all my games on easy.
Yeah.
Like, I play for story, I don't play for like...
And the story is like... what
so
makes this good. Yeah.
That's what got me into Bioshock and really started broadening my mind to video games, and especially shooters and like horror games, because I had only played like Kingdom Hearts and just Nintendo games, and so those are very easy peasy, like laid back, and this was like the first intro to shooters and RPGs, and like Yeah, it was an experience, and I wish I could relive that over and over again.
Yeah, and this game, like, especially if this is, like, not only, like, your intro to the genre, like, even if, like, it's your intro to the genre, or if you've been playing games forever, this game still, like, blew people's mind. Like, it was at the perfect timing of being able to have the proper game mechanics, proper graphics, proper game setting, like, so Rapture is, you know, a city at the bottom of the ocean, and it's kind of set in, like, the late 1950s, like, based on the, you know, contents of, like, Ayn Rand and, like, objectivism and all this, like, crazy government, like, not even, no government, that's what it is.
Yeah.
No government. No hand of government is gonna take all your shit in Rapture. Because it's basically, like, for the privileged rich people, in a way.
The geniuses that are so psychotic that they can't function in everyday real life society that we have.
Yeah.
They have to go to Rapture.
Yeah, basically. And
Go away.
they're making what they think is this utopia, which of course it doesn't work. And then in New Year's of 1958, there is a civil war. And you're brought to this game not knowing anything. You're in a plane crash, and you're just brought in like, oh shit, where am I? And you're 2 years after this civil war. So
everything is just like deteriorated and falling apart, water's leaking everywhere, and you're dealing with more crazy people who have genetically enhanced themselves.
Yeah.
That they're even more like psychotic, I guess. That's the word of choice today.
Yeah.
But they are
once
kill.
once there was like the discovery of Adam, which is a substance found in sea slugs that can change your genetic code, and then people just became obsessed with being powerful or beautiful or whatever it might be to make you quote unquote perfect. And it just kind of led to this crazy gangster wars and downfall of society, and now what's left is the skin and bones of this once beautiful like Art Deco world. And you meet some crazy characters along the way. You're greeted by Atlas, who's this Irish guy who's obviously really nice, and he guides you through most of the game because he just wants to get out too.
Yes.
But you'll just have to see what happens because it's great. The story's great. It does have a really good like sense of fear, like you were saying. Like it is deep down, it's a survival horror game.
It is, and I remember playing it in first getting out of the biosphere and just like eking my way through the game. I could not even move or play it by myself. I was just so scared, and I might be a little bit of a pansy, even though I watch a lot of like horror films, but actually playing it puts you into that setting, and it's like 10 times more scary. And this had all the right things to really put you in that space and make you feel afraid.
Yeah, and it introduces things to you so well. Like one of the first splicers you run into, not the first, but it's just like a shadow of the splicer with a baby carriage.
Yes.
And then she's like talking to this baby, but it's actually like a gun.
Yeah. I call all my guns my baby.
Oh. Yeah, but these people are cray, and like even the first time you see a Big Daddy, you can see their like raw power that they have. You just come across it and you're like looking through glass. And like so if you don't know, the Big Daddies are designed to, they have a like genetic link with the little sisters, so they will watch over them, because the little sisters are orphan girls who've also been genetically enhanced to go around and collect Adam from the bodies of the dead or wherever they can find it. So, and they're there to just protect them. So if this is one that you missed, definitely check it out again, because it's so good. It was so right for the time, and it's still right for now, and it's so good. Some people are touted as one of the best games ever made because it does bring together that video game and art kind of connection. All right, and to lighten the mood from that, so if you've seen my videos before, you know that there are beer reviews. So, what's this first one that we got?
Dieselpunk.
Yeah.
This is perfect too. The graphics are great.
That's why I picked it. Basically walked by in the store and I was like, there it is.
Yep, that's it.
So this is a honey amber. So it's a lager made with Manitoba honey, Canadian honey. I guess that's better than regular honey? But this is brewed by World Brews in New York, in Rochester, New York. So, Eva brought some wonderful, we're not using proper glassware, I know, but we had to use these because they're adorable Bioshock, like...
Plasmids.
Yay!
Shop plasmids.
Even though it totally looks like whiskey, it's not.
Oh, it does. Well, that's really sweet.
Yeah, it is.
That's really sweet. That's really good. This would be a really good, like, summer beer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, late evening summer when the sun's starting to go down, so you want something a little kind of, like, warm you up, but still, like, not too overpowering.
Yeah. Because it's definitely, like, a lager. It has that just, like, really light taste, but the honey just adds a lot of weight to it, in a way.
Yeah, it feels kind of... It's like mead, a little bit. It's like a beer mead.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it definitely has that honey sweetness. It's pretty good, though.
Plasma glasses.
Okay, that's better. All right. And why don't you get us started on the next one, which I'm sure you all know what it is. It's not a secret, but...
Ta-da! Bioshock 2. So this was actually done by 2K Games, not by the Irrational Studios. So I know, like, going into playing this game, a lot of people were like, oh, well, it's not Irrational. I don't really want to play it.
Oh, it's not Ken Levine.
Yeah.
Like...
But for me, I almost feel like this game is almost gives you the best parts of Rapture and story. It's just, I don't know, it's just easier to play through, and the storyline is really fleshed out. The characters are more, you connect with them more because you're interacting with them a lot more than just like Atlas and Ryan in the first one.
It's way more like morality choices. You meet
that too.
So there's these 3 characters that you meet in this game. Because in the first one, your morality is really based on how you treat the little sisters. Whether you harvest or save them. And that just kind of depends on what you want to do. But like, you can get a good ending or a bad ending. It all depends on if you want that atom up front or you can wait and be a better person. Whatever. But this one has the little sister, like, harvest, save, whatever, like... And it also has, you meet these antagonists, like, several times throughout the game. There's, like, that lady, then there's Poole, and then there's Alexander. Yeah. And you basically go through, like, a level where they're the ones who are, like, trying to keep you out, or, like, sending bots to stop you, or something like that. And then you get to a point where you, like, do I spare them? Was this a misunderstanding? Like, are they actually under the control of Sophia Lamb, who is the overall kind of Andrew Ryan character in this. She's like a psychiatrist, that they have kind of elevated to this godlike level. And in Bioshock 2, you play as a Big Daddy who's has his bond separated from his little sister, and you're basically trying to get that little sister back, which is the basic premise. Yeah. And I don't know, I really liked it a lot. I know a lot of people are like, whatever, Bioshock Infinite's the true sequel. Yeah. Like, well,
I don't know. I just felt more comprehensive, and I also really liked being a Big Daddy. Maybe because I felt a little bit safer because I went straight from Bioshock to Bioshock 2 because I didn't play the game until it had already been out for a while. Yeah. And I think this was pretty kind of new, maybe a year old from that point when this came out. So I was a little behind the game, but I just felt maybe more comfortable in that setting and like really getting into it, and also feeling driven to get back my little sister. So I think that had a lot to do with it, and just I also feel like Sophia Lamb is such an evil character too. Starts a cult.
Basically,
the family, you know, like and using her own daughter as like that end goal of having the perfect utopian. And
her very altruistic views, she's just trying to like portray onto that. So she is like truly evil in a way, and like the like shrines that the splicers built to her are all around the levels are like crazy.
They're really kind of scary. Well, and it's just weird too that like she uses splicers, but the splicers are the ones who are harvesting the little sisters, like,
or like
to get
attempting
that,
to.
yeah, and to get the atom. It's like, that doesn't make sense. But okay. Like, I guess that's what you have to work with now that Rapture is like done.
What it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something about Bioshock 2. I thought the pacing was quicker, and like, I just fell in love with the world. I don't know what it is.
I feel like the levels felt a little cleaner too, because in Bioshock, like, I felt like I got lost a lot or turned around, and you had to constantly be trying to go look at your map and be like, where am I? And it wasn't very intuitive. Where this felt like you kind of had more objectives and you knew where you were going, and maybe it was just a little more well thought out. Maybe because it was by a bigger production team that had, I don't know, more time to do it, or just had experience from doing Bioshock, and now they did Bioshock 2, or
yeah, because Ken Levine still, like, he didn't make it, but he provided input, and then Digital Extremes also helped make it as well. And then I think actually the best part about Bioshock 2 is the DLC Minerva's Den.
Yes.
I still think, like, Minerva's Den on its own little island is, because it's a kind of, 3 to 5 hour standalone DLC. And it's its own story. You are basically following tapes from Charles Martin Porter, who basically made this big computer to run Rapture. And he's a genuinely good person, and people want to use the computer for their own selfish, nefarious deeds, so he's trying to help you get the computer out of Rapture. Like, that is what you want to do. And so there's not really this big overarching bad guy like Andrew Ryan or Sophia Lamb. You do have Wall, his, like, crazy partner, but he's also crazy.
Yeah, he's spiced up a little bit too much.
But I think the story is so much more, like, personal, and, like, I think it's a lot more moving than a lot of the other, maybe because it is so condensed. It is only like 4 hours long. That might be why, but it's so good.
Sometimes I feel like when games are too long, you miss the whole point of the story, and then it comes too open world, and you can get lost and bored, and then maybe stop. Instead, it's a quick game, and in Minerva's Den, it is a good standalone, but it's also a good partner to both Bioshock and Bioshock 2.
Yeah. And then what I really liked about Bioshock 2 and Minerva's Den, because they both have the same mechanic, is the more attachment you get with the little sister. Because in both of them, you do play a big daddy. And since you're a big daddy, you still, have a connection with little sisters, and they will look at you like you're a big daddy, because you are.
Yeah.
And so when you kill a big daddy, you can adopt the little sister if you choose. And so then you can go with her on these draws.
Yeah.
And they're really fun.
That was really fun to be able to, being the big daddy, but also having a little sister that you're palling around on your back. It's like a little Yoda, going through the woods. But and then you find those bodies to collect atoms, so you can get more atom. You don't have to harvest her. You can save, which I like to save all the little sisters. That's just how I play. But, then all the splicers come rushing at you, and it was so much fun to get, like, the cyclone trap and the rivet guns and, like, set all those up, and you're like, okay, come at me, yo.
Yeah.
And have all these splicers coming at you, and you're just kicking ass.
Basically, I was always, like, surrounded by traps.
Yep.
And then, like, what Bioshock 2 and Minerva's Den did really well was that there was so many, like, turrets you could hack, and so many, like, the sentries that you could hack, that I almost always had a robot friend, like, the whole time in Minerva's Den.
They were so much easier to hack. I mean, I did really like that the hacking mechanics in Bioshock was, like, a mini game in all itself.
Yeah.
But Bioshock 2 really made it quicker and easier to hack things. I mean, some of them weren't easy, but it just... Yeah, so. I mean, I'd hack every circus of values, everything I could find. I would hack right away and be like, give me that sweet discount.
Yeah.
Because, you're cheap.
Yep.
You're broken cheap when you're in Rapture. Nice dress.
Thanks, I like yours too.
Well, it looks like we're all infinite. So the next drink that we have is Murder of Crows. This is from Skookum Brewing. It's a 9% alcohol imperial stout aged on seasoned oak.
Ooh.
And this is actually made in Arlington, Washington. Give it up to Washington.
Yeah. Local beer.
Yeah, born and raised. So
And I've actually been to Skookum, and it's like way up north from here, but they have good beer, so I'm excited to try this one, and it's like way too perfect for Bioshock. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, right there.
Yep. He's eating a wormy.
Yes.
Ooh, it's smoky.
It is really smoky. See, I like stouts a lot. This is one I would drink, but only winter time.
Yeah.
Which is pretty perfect right now because it's gloomy and rainy and cold.
It tastes very, like, stereotypical, like, imperial stout with a lot of maltiness, and it has that, like, because it's, like, smoked wood, whatever, oak.
Yeah. I feel like this is definitely one that maybe only have two of, and then you're good. You're good to go. Maybe
9%.
even with one. Yeah, that's intense. But it
Smells good. Yeah, see, that little cup wasn't enough.
Plus, I think beer always tastes better out of the bottle. I don't know.
Unless it's on draft, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's like Coca-Cola. When it's out of
on the
machine. That's the best
fountain
soda.
drink?
Yeah.
Or when it comes in the glass bottle.
Yeah.
Real cane sugar.
Mexican Coke.
Yeah.
Which is going to be real sugar.
It's not going to be cane sugar anymore?
No.
Oh, we have diverted. What?
They duped us.
Ah!
Plot twist!
Ah! This is just as heartbreaking as the last one. But this is real good.
Yeah, I'd recommend this. Plus the crows on it are so menacing.
Yeah.
Perfect for what we're about to talk about.
And this was basically the vigor in Bioshock Infinite that I've spammed. Every dead body became a bird bomb. Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like the bee plasmid, but better.
Yeah, and I used the bee one too.
Yeah, I see. I didn't use the animals as much. I always use like fire or lightning or shock jockey or devil's kiss, whatever, which way you want to go.
Yeah, like shock jockey and wrench combination in the first one. That was my jam.
Yeah, I never.
I'd be
used
like,
the wrench.
bam.
I like guns, and I like to shoot with the guns, but not real guns. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. I'm a melee kind of gal, and I was all about the drill in Bioshock 2, but then I would run out of fuel all the time.
Oh, that plasma gun, that was my bae. That was my best friend. We could have like a whole video about guns and
these are my weapons of choice in games. It's birds.
Or
Bam!
the skyhook.
That's such a weird mode of transportation.
And it's a weird weapon.
Yeah.
I never got good at using the skyhook as a weapon. I was really bad at it. But I would see people who were really good, and they would do like the twist of the neck, and they'd like cut people and like into their bowels, and yeah, I no, not me.
But it's so cool.
It was cool to watch.
Yeah.
I really liked watching people do it. I just sucked at it. That's why I like guns. Blow their brains.
So speaking of which, next up we have Bioshock Infinite. I can put this down now. And this came out, 2013, something like that? And so it's a little bit more recent. And I feel like when this game came out, like the internet blew up.
Oh my god.
People loved this game.
I had a heart attack. And I know a lot, I mean, there's always this like, what is it gonna be? In that first trailer they showed where it looks like you're going back in Rapture, and then they pan out and you're in a fish tank, and then you're fighting a handyman. Like, my mind was blown.
Yeah.
And being also kind of a part of the steampunk community and really liking the Victorian era, I was like so stoked.
Yeah.
So stoked to see this new take on Bioshock and what it was about, but in a whole new century and time and place, and get to see all the different things that they come up with.
Yeah. So Bioshock Infinite, the third in the Bioshock series, or second if you're a dick.
Talking to you.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Yeah.
But it takes place in Columbia instead of Rapture. And that's like a floating utopia in the sky. And it's very like ultra conservative Christian kind
Americana.
Yeah, very, very Americana, basically. Like, the game basically opens with, like, you get a raffle ticket, and you're like, And then what you win is the chance to throw a baseball at an interracial couple who are being publicly shamed at a fair. And that's how this game opens. And you can decide if you want to go along with what you assume is what they're trying to have you do, or you can try to throw the ball at the guy on stage.
Yeah. The funny thing about this game is that you think all the choices you make throughout is going to impact the ending.
Yeah.
No. They got you there.
Man, fuck that necklace choice. Because I remember that. I, like, So, the big tout of this game was Elizabeth. Like, and if you've seen any ads or any pictures for this game ever, you know who she is.
Yes.
So, and so the game starts, you are Booker DeWitt. You are a Pinkerton private eye guy. Retired, yes. Who basically, like, has debts.
He has debts because he has a gambling problem.
And so he has to go get this girl, basically, and then return her to these guys. And so he, like, goes to Columbia, so that's what he's thinking. And then when you finally find her, she's very Disney princess-esque up in a tower with her giant songbird.
She looks like Belle, too.
Yeah, she does.
Like, her hair and her outfit has a little bit of Belle's, like, village dress.
Yeah, she does, actually, a lot. There's some Disney parallels there.
I love it.
And I mean, Columbia is kind of racist Disneyland, so...
Yeah, it reminds probably what Walt would have liked, the anti-Semitic and everything.
It so reminds me of just like downtown Disney,
Main
but like
Street.
Back then. Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah. But anyways, when you finally get her and you can let her out of her tower because she dreams of something more, you have to, like, you help her pick the necklace. It's a bird or a cage, and it seems like this big decision that's gonna impact everything in the world, and I, like, labored over this stupid choice.
Why not both?
I know, come on!
I mean, I bought both, but that's because I like to change up my costumes sometimes.
Yeah.
The only way to do it is with that necklace.
Yeah, basically. But, like, I don't know, Bioshock Infinite was so fun, but I felt like it was missing some of the flavor of Bioshock, but I loved the world.
The world was so pretty. And the main thing I think about Columbia versus Rapture is that it's like this very light versus dark. And you think Columbia is going to be the actual utopia that, you know, Andrew Ryan really wanted to have, but instead it's like Comstock is the leader. And it seems like this heaven in this, like, it's piece of heaven. It's in the sky, and the angel Columbia spoke to Comstock and told him to build this. But oh no, like, there's like seedy underground business as well.
And like, it kind of started this like civil war, just like in Rapture, because you have like Comstock and all these like people who basically worship the founding fathers as kind of like demigods.
Yes.
And then you have the Vox Populi, which is like a resistance group, which kind of raises to support the lower classes. So the same thing basically happened from Columbia and Rapture. It's just in a different place.
Yeah.
And it's just way more game mechanics. And this world is way like colorful. It's not the dark and dank and scary.
Yeah,
you know.
Don't think I was really ever scared. So that was a kind of a missing piece.
Yeah.
And I think also that going through the game, it was much linear too. Like, you never got lost because you always knew where you're going.
Kind of go in a straight line.
Yeah, it really was. And and that was kind of nice though, is that if you got lost in the game, you just press a button, then that little ghost arrow came out.
Oh,
that was really nice.
Yeah.
But if you did get lost, but otherwise it was pretty, like, you couldn't discover an awful lot, and you're just like rummaging through trash cans everywhere you go and stuffing your face with food to get health. And that was
You're like, trash can? Is that a sandwich?
Yeah.
Is that a banana?
I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
He should have been really fat, but
yeah. It should have been like, Fable, where you get fat when you eat.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about Fable.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But like, they had such different mechanics, mainly because it is like a city in the sky. You have, the skyhook, because that was like kind of your mode of transportation. There's like these overhead rails, and there was a lot of situations where you're placed basically in an arena type setting where you would get waves of enemies, and there's like rails overhead, and you would have the handyman kind of in place of the Big Daddy as that just like big looming like monster type
Yeah.
character, and he was basically kind of like a cyborg, really.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. Poor guy was in constant pain and just was being used as security. But I feel like the biggest correlation, if you were looking for like the big daddy and little sister, really is Songbird and Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah.
That really was the connection I saw
definitely.
with them.
Because Songbird is like Elizabeth's protector, basically.
Yes. And they're bonded to one another like a little sister and Big Daddy, which goes into more detail a little bit with their downloaded content.
And yeah, the download content is Burial at Sea, and I don't think this is a spoiler, but so the big thing in Bioshock is that Elizabeth can open up kind of time rifts.
Yeah,
so you can
tears.
You can go to like different like alternate universes of where you are now, kind of thing. So like Burial at Sea takes kind of the Booker and Elizabeth characters and places them back in Rapture. And it kind of helps the story to come like full circle on how these worlds are actually connected.
I love the downloaded content. Not so much part one. You're Booker again, and you're helping Elizabeth investigate like a stolen child, Sally. And you find her in the end, and you know there's, I don't want to give it away.
There's stuff that
yeah,
happens.
there's stuff. Surprises. But part two, I absolutely adored. You finally get to play as Elizabeth, and that was so empowering as a female gamer to finally be this character that I looked up to and cosplayed, and really enjoyed how she acted. Because I mean, she never got in the way of Booker ever when you're playing Infinite, and so like you really felt like she was your partner.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to be her and experience Rapture through her eyes and how it ties into the overall Rapture storyline, like.
Yeah.
Mind's blown.
So cool.
It's so good. And it's like, it really truly is like kind of my favorite piece of the whole series. Like, I kind of wish like Infinite was almost just like Elizabeth. I think with Bioshock Infinite too is that the characters in it are, they're like so likable and memorable, like the Latesses, like the brother and sister, Robert and Rosalind, like, I just love them. They were like Tweedledee, Tweedledum, but like smarter and sassier, and they just gave a lot more flavor to the game.
Yeah.
And your interactions with them, and also just having Booker talk, because Jack didn't talk and Subject Delta didn't talk. That was another kind of change to the series and giving the player you're playing a voice better. Well, and I also think just the storyline in itself is you are there before the fall, and that's what they really wanted to make significant to the plot, and how you being there impacts Columbia.
Yeah.
I think that has a big thing to it. So and then I think too with Elizabeth going back to Rapture and the downloaded content, you get to see Rapture in all of its glory. Yeah. So it does kind of, I don't know, it brings it full circle for all things, I guess. And Rapture, I would live there in a heartbeat, like when it was nice.
Yeah, it's so, the Art Deco style is so beautiful. And Burial at Sea does kind of bring back that, a little bit of the spookiness too.
Yes.
So I like that as well. And so basically what we've been saying, this is kind of our love letter to Bioshock, because this series is fantastic, and if you missed it, or if you didn't finish it, or for whatever reason, whatever.
Or you didn't like it, we can't be friends.
Sorry.
Yeah, all my friends have to like Bioshock.
Basically.
It's just how it is.
But the remastered is the way to do it. It's so beautiful. It comes with all the DLC as well. So it's more than worth it. And they remastered it in HD. Well, these are new. Whatever. It looks really good.
It looks nicer. I mean,
yeah.
So I didn't go and buy the remastered edition because I was like, I got them. I have, and so I was like replaying things, borrowing yours, because that's what best friends do. They share. And I was like, oh crap, I really do need to go get this now.
It's really, really nice.
I just wish, if you're hearing me irrational, I just wish that you had released some special edition collector's items, because my cabinet could use some more.
Yeah, yeah. So you should just like get back together and just make Bioshock 4. Yes. Is what you should really do. I mean, obviously listen to us, because you're gonna watch this.
And send us all the things.
And send us all the things. So that was our wonderful love letter to Bioshock and the whole series, and I hope you guys liked it. And where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Facebook at Tiny Treasures Cosplay or Instagram at Eva Laurel, and it's Lorell. Kind of weird.
Awesome. And you can find me online at KinsZilla, KinsZilla, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and thanks for subscribing.